This video is a segment from the live stream linked in the description below. If you find it useful, be sure to like it. But if you'd like to join the conversation, subscribe and turn on notifications to be notified when we go live the next time. I'd love to see you there. Until then, I hope you enjoy this video. Now, there's a difference between this gear in position block, and it's subtle, but it's very, very powerful. So let's do absolute gearing, and then same terminology, L, F1. Whoa, a lot more stuff. So we know we're going to go ahead and put into the master, and so leading axis is master, follower, we're going to put follower 2 in as a slave. So why is there so much more stuff? We still have our numerator ratio, we still have a gear ratio that we can put in. So if we want to do some sort of scuffing, or for some reason we want some sort of ratio between the two, we can do that. But we have this extra stuff, this master sync position, this slave sync position, the sync profile reference, the master start distance, like all of this extra stuff, even a sync direction. Why is all of that necessary for this absolute gearing? Because instead of just kind of syncing up whenever, this is setting up a function that its intent is to, if you have a position on your master axis, this would just be a fixed velocity move. It gets going and goes. So with relative gearing, it doesn't matter where the follower links up. Well, in this one, you want to have a set point somewhere where you begin to be synchronized. That's the intent. You have this position here that it wants to be synchronized after. So they want to be synchronized up. And in that is the master sync position. MSP. Now, what does the following axis look like before that? That's what all this other stuff is. So you have these other two, the sync profile reference and master start distance. Those determines what it looks like before then. We need to look at the different values here for the master start distance based on the sync profile reference. This number one sync profile is, you have these parameters to be able to, in the master start distance, you have this much distance for the following axis to speed up, get synced up. Okay, that is what this master start distance is this distance here. So master start distance is this distance here that it has to be able to get synced up. And it is restricted again by how fast these values are. You might be like, hey, I want to just sync up really fast. Well, you might not have the available acceleration, or your jerk might be limiting the overall time to accelerate. So there's a lot of these limitations that could prevent you from getting geared in, because at its core, this block is intended to put a position on your slave axis, your following axis, and link it up with a moving position on your leading axis. That's what these two main parameters are. And there are some other sync profile references that you can look to, but that's kind of the most common and simplest version to be able to sync up. So let's clear this out and talk about this. It's a subtle thing, because on a linearized axis like we are in a linear mode to where it's millimeters. we have our sheet that this is our leading value. Say we're laminating and we're bringing in second piece, and we want this 0 position on this axis synced up to, say this is 100 millimeters down, and say you have this like big roll here that has a laminating sheet on it, and you're bringing your regular paper down through here like that, and so this is 0, this is 1000. This is F1, and we could call this, depending on how you home it, call this 0 on your following axis. So maybe you've homed this to 0 where your new laminating sheet is. So you have this like laminator that's here, and where that starts is 0 on F1. Well, we would set this block up like this. We would say master sync position is 100. Slave sync position is 0.0. Sync profile reference. Master start distance would have to be at most 100. So let's just say 50. Velocity would need to be as much as possible. And now these velocities are in linear units. So whatever our motion control units are, in this would be millimeters per second. So we would need to have these really high. I mean, really high. In order to perform this move, unless our speeds are just really slow. So, and then we would need to set these so that you kind of get as much out of it as possible. Now with a laminator, so if we're trying to bring two pieces of product together and form them into one, and we've created this kind of shift now to where this is running and we're wanting to like that. This is kind of the setup that we have here. But I'm firing this block way back here, and then it just sits idle and waiting because it takes a calculation and says, oh, okay, I'm gonna have this master start distance. Here's my sync point, master start distance back, and then so I'm gonna start moving here, and then so, but I actually do the execute. Way back here, and then it sits idle, and it will say busy will be true, and then in sync will be false. And while it is trying to get synced up, start sync will be true. So that's kind of the way that those bits work. If it is sitting waiting to start, like you've triggered the block, so you've hit the execute, the busy will come on and sit if it's sitting there waiting to go. And then if it's not in sync, so it's not synced up, you won't have the in sync. And the only time the start sync will be on is when it is accelerating in that master, kind of like in this zone right here. Now, word of advice. This little setup here, obviously, you would not want to have your hand sticking in right here while that knife comes down to cut the paper. That's kind of a pretty basic thought. Problem is, this function does not uncall itself. MC alt does not stop this from continuing, which means you can flip over into manual. Not on my machine, by the way, just so you know. So if you don't get this ungeared, and say you take it out of automatic and you start jogging, and you're just jogging the paper into the floor to get something gone, this would be moving along this line. It is still looking for this sync point, because once this goes busy, MC halt does not take it out. And I'm going to show you real quick. So let's go through and look at something real quick. I'm going to hit F1 on this block, and I want to talk about the override response. Where is it? Here we go. I want you to see something. So this override response for synchronous jobs, pretty stinking important. And so what you really need to take note of how to read this is active job is the stuff that goes across here, and what you were your new job is going down here. So that means if you are running an MC gear in, if you see an A here, that means MC home overrides and it stops, kicks out the MC gear in and starts your new job. Notice gear in position. If you are sitting there, gear in position, MC camming, and it is waiting, then you have this situation to where you've hit the execute, but it hasn't reached the sync position. So you're in this zone here. If you notice, MC halt does not override. So what does? MC gear out. It is specifically designed to gear out the function. This here, it can get you into a lot of trouble. I've had another commenter, now that I think about it, ask about the difference between an MC halt and an MC stop. Here is an example of it, actually. The MC stop actually takes out a gear in position waiting. And looking at this, an MC stop looks like it's actually probably the better way of getting everything out, because if you look at this, MC stop actually overrides everything, whereas an MC halt misses this gear in position. Hopefully this video's been helpful. If it has, hit that like button and maybe even subscribe for more. But until the next video, always be learning. Bye.